Good morning. It is currently 6:53 a.m. on Tuesday, April 14th, 2015. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So I'm gonna. Okay, I don't know. Today's another one of those days where I sort of I'm all over the place mentally. Like I can't decide what I want this show to be or what to talk about. I started to do a different one and then bailed. I don't know. I think what's kind of really on my mind at the moment is that there was an article that went around, there was a blog post that went around the other day about, let's be real here, self-promotion as an author just doesn't work. And that got retweeted a fair amount, and I saw some people, sharing it around as like, oh, this is truth. But I don't know. I thought that the message of the article was really wrong-headed personally. Now, in this article, what they're complaining about specifically, Luna shares my feelings of annoyance. What the person in the article is complaining about specifically is that they don't like having social media turned into, just a big mass of billboards with people, spouting their their book pitch every 2 hours on like clockwork. And I don't know. I mean, first of all, I consume a lot of social media, and I have personally never actually felt annoyed by what might be described as by others as excessive self-promotion, but I have not really ever found it to be annoying. Personally, I don't think there has even been one time where I was like, oh gosh, I want to follow this person, but I wish they'd shut up about their book, or something to that effect. I don't know, maybe I follow fewer people, but I follow people that I care about and therefore am more or less interested. And even if it's something I've already heard about and I don't need to hear about it again, then I just read past it because I know it already. I don't understand why that's annoying to people, but clearly there's a sentiment in that article that resonated with some people. But I feel like almost what resonates more maybe with people is there's this fear because self-promotion is hard and it's not really all that fun most of the time. Not that I'm an expert. I mean, I do a lot of stuff, but I throw spaghetti at the wall constantly, and then I don't necessarily even learn lessons from it. Like I'm not even, I'm so busy reaching for the next handful of spaghetti that I don't even really look carefully to see what might have sticked from the last time. Sticked. Did I mention I just got up? Anyway, I certainly don't want to make any claim that I know what I'm talking about more than anybody else, really. But I also feel like you do have to do self-promotion. And that's just an expectation now. I've read several articles talking about how even if you are published traditionally, and there's a marketing push for your book, you are still expected to do some self-promotion. And so this idea that we want to just say self-promotion doesn't work, that's nonsense in my opinion. I mean, if what you want to complain about is that some people get really over-aggressive with it and end up having the same pre-written tweet or something that goes out 10 times a day and they don't add any new content to it, then I would argue that's not saying self-promotion doesn't work, it's saying bad self-promotion doesn't work. But to say self-promotion as a concept doesn't work? Now, the article eventually finished with, the actual advice I would give you is just write the next book. And I think that's actually probably good advice. It's actually kind of what I've been focusing on lately is I've got several other projects in the works, and I'm trying to actually just work on them instead of only talking about it. I'm still talking about other things, but the point is I'm trying to actually get other projects done so that I can talk about those. And I'm not especially good at self-promotion, I think, of my work. Like, I do this show, I do other podcasts, but I don't actually end up talking about my things that are actually already out there very much. I think I do when they're going, but like there's this anxiety, I think, for content producers of like how much self-promotion is too much, how much is not enough. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it the wrong way? And so I think that this sort of blanket statement that self-promotion doesn't work kind of makes me angry. I think it's harmful because it would be one thing to say, let's talk about the kinds of self-promotion that work and the kinds that don't, the kind that annoys people, the kind that's more helpful. What are the ways to make your self-promotion work for you? And then also maybe include, also make sure that you're not neglecting your next project. All of that would be good advice, but I feel like this blanket statement of self-promotion doesn't work is destructive to people who are already insecure about whether they're doing enough or doing too much. And I feel like it's judgmental, and it kind of makes me upset for people to say it like that. And while there might be some truth in it, I think it's poor communication because they overstate their point. That's my opinion. Wow, clearly that was what I wanted to talk about today. All right, so remember, you can find my projects, Nina Kimberly the Merciless, the comic fantasy adventure novel, available from Dragon Moon Press in print, or as a podcast on my site, or podiobooks.com. You can also find Space Casey, my comic sci-fi radio play. It's also available on my site, christianaellis.com, or at podiobooks.com. And there's a script book, illustrated script book for Space Casey that you can buy from lulu.com. You can also find that link on my site. See? Self-promotion. Okay, talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes.